is happening here. We've got a poker dealer allegedly pocketing chips right from under the noses of players at the Jack Cleveland Casino.
Yeah.
Like something straight out of a movie, you know? High-stakes poker. Everyone's focused on their hands, and the dealer's allegedly working a side hustle.
It's pretty brazen, no doubt.
Yeah.
This Cleveland.com article lays out the accusations against Jason Saliba,
Okay.
this 51-year-old dealer who apparently got a little too comfortable with the casino's chips.
So let's get to the point.
Right.
The article says a patron noticed something shady and tipped off the casino.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them, right?
Right.
Not only were they paying attention, but they actually said something. Do you think most people would even notice something like that, let alone report it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Casinos are designed to be distracting with all the lights and sounds and the thrill of the game.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in the moment and miss subtle cues. But this patron was clearly paying close attention.
So what exactly did they see? And what happened after they reported it?
Well, according to the article, the casino pulled up the security footage.
Okay.
And boom, there's Saliba.
Oh, wow.
Apparently caught red-handed multiple times.
Oh, no.
Not exactly the smartest move,
Right.
especially in place covered in cameras.
Right.
They fired him the next day.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
But what kind of legal trouble are we talking here? Is this like a slap on the wrist or something more serious?
Oh, it's definitely more serious.
Okay.
He's facing 14 felony counts of violating casino gaming laws,
Wow.
plus a misdemeanor theft charge.
Okay.
Because the amount he allegedly pocketed each time was less than $1,000.
14 counts. Sounds like they've got some pretty solid evidence against him.
They probably do.
Yeah.
And you know what's really fascinating? The article mentions that if he's convicted, Saliba could face jail time, A&D, get himself permanently banned from every single casino in Ohio.
Oh, my goodness.
They even have a special list for people like him.
Oh, really?
The involuntary exclusion list.
Wow.
Talk about a high-stakes gamble gone wrong.
That's intense.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if he ever thought about the consequences. Did he
No.
think he could actually get away with it?
Who knows what was going through his mind?
Right.
But one thing is clear.
Yeah.
Casinos don't mess around when it comes to protecting their money.
Right. And speaking of messing around,
Yeah.
this isn't even the first time something like this has happened at the J. Cleveland Casino.
Uh-huh.
Remember that guy, Ellis Quinn?
Oh, yeah, the craps cheat. That was just a few months earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seems like this place might have a bit of a security problem,
Yeah.
you know? Or maybe it's just tempting fate with all that money floating around.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Casinos are designed to be alluring.
Right.
And let's be honest, where there's money, there's temptation.
Of course.
But this actually brings up a bigger issue.
Okay.
The Ohio Casino Control Commission, or OCCC, investigates gambling crimes. And their reports show that this sort of thing happens more than you might think. In the past year alone, there were 24 cheating incidents reported across Ohio casinos,
Wow.
and half of them were at this very Jack casino.
So this isn't just some bizarre one-off. It's actually part of a bigger trend.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The Saliba case really highlights just how important regulation and security are in this industry.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
You go to a casino to have fun, maybe try your luck, but in the back of your mind, you got to wonder, is this game even on the level?
That's a natural concern. No one wants to feel like the deck is stacked against them,
Yeah.
especially when real money's involved.
Right. So how exactly does the OCCC go about investigating these cases? Do they have like a special casino police force or something?
Well, they have a team of investigators who look into allegations of cheating, theft, and other illegal activities.
Okay.
And get this, the Cleveland.com article mentions that they have a whole process for tracking and addressing these incidents.
Oh, wow.
Almost like a CSI for casinos.
Whoa, that's pretty wild. So they're actually taking this stuff seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
think about all the money these casinos rake in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about protecting the casinos themselves,
Okay.
but also maintaining the integrity of the gambling industry as a whole.
Right.
If people lose trust in the system,
Yeah.
no one wins.
Right. It's got to be fair for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
players and the house alike.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And remember that involuntary exclusion list we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Well, the OCCC has the power to add people to that list for a variety of reasons,
Okay.
not just stealing.
Oh, interesting. So who else ends up on this list?
Well, folks convicted of cheating, obviously.
Right.
But it can also include people who have a gambling problem and have asked to be banned to protect themselves.
So it's not just about punishment, but also about harm reduction.
Right.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It shows that they're not just focused on catching criminals, but also on helping those who might be vulnerable.
Exactly. It's a more holistic approach to regulation, trying to keep everyone safe.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's not all doom and gloom in the casino world.
No.
There are actually some positive aspects to all this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There will always be people trying to game the system.
Right.
But there are also measures in place to protect the integrity of the games and the well-being of the players.
So that's reassuring. Knowing that I don't feel quite as nervous about hitting the casino.
As long as you're playing by the rules, you've got nothing to worry about.
True. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye on the dealer from now on. You never know who might be trying to pull a Saliba.
A healthy dose of skepticism never hurt anyone.
So we've talked about Saliba, his alleged crimes, and the OCCC. But the article also mentioned something about former casino employees being on that involuntary exclusion list.
That's right. Apparently, 6 former employees are banned from all Ohio casinos because they were accused of stealing while they were working there.
6. That's a pretty significant number.
It is, and it raises some interesting questions about the internal security measures within casinos.
Yeah.
How are these employees getting away with this stuff? You'd think a casino would have super tight security to prevent this kind of thing.
Right. You'd think they'd have it locked down tight.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But even the most secure systems have vulnerabilities.
It's kind of unsettling to think that the people running the games might be the ones you need to watch out for.
It definitely erodes trust.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what else might be slipping through the cracks.
Yeah, like, are casinos doing enough to properly vet and train their employees?
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Maybe more stringent background checks and ongoing ethics training could help minimize these risks?
It seems like a no-brainer.
Right.
If you're going to have someone handling mountains of cash, you want to make damn sure there's squeaky clean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The casino has a responsibility to its patrons to ensure a fair and secure environment.
So it's not just about catching the bad guys after the fact. It's about preventing these situations from happening in the first place.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture of integrity and accountability within the casino itself.
Well said. So this Saliba case isn't just about one rogue dealer.
No.
It's a symptom of a bigger issue that the whole industry needs to address.
I agree. It's a wake-up call for casinos everywhere to reevaluate their security protocols and employee screening processes.
Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to feel like they're playing on a level playing field.
Well said. Couldn't agree more. Everyone deserves a fair shot, whether they're playing poker blackjack or even those penny slots.
Exactly. And speaking of fair shots, this whole Saliba situation makes you wonder if it could have been avoided if you'd been caught sooner.
Right.
Like, what if someone had noticed something was off earlier and reported it? Maybe he wouldn't have had the chance to allegedly steal so many times.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But it also brings up a fascinating point
Okay.
about the whole culture of reporting these kinds of incidents. Think about it. Would you feel comfortable reporting a dealer if you thought they were cheating?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to think I would,
Yeah.
but I can see how people might hesitate. You don't want to be wrong,
Right.
cause a scene, or even face some kind of backlash from other players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like that snitches get stitches mentality,
Right.
but in a casino setting.
Right.
But in this case, not reporting could actually be enabling criminal behavior and hurting everyone involved.
You're right. Like they say, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
Precisely. So it's super important to encourage a culture where people feel comfortable speaking up if they see something suspicious. It's all about protecting the integrity of the game.
Totally. So what can casinos do to create that kind of environment?
Well, for starters, they need to make it crystal clear that reporting suspected cheating is encouraged and that there won't be any negative consequences for doing so.
Like maybe have signs up everywhere or make announcements?
Exactly. And they could even set up anonymous reporting systems so people feel more comfortable coming forward.
Okay.
You know, kind of like a casino tip line.
Love that idea. It takes away the fear of being identified or facing some sort of retaliation.
Right. It's about creating a safe and secure environment for everyone.
And it's not just about protecting the players. It's about protecting the casino itself, too.
Absolutely. These cheating scandals can seriously damage a casino's reputation and cost them a ton of money.
Yeah. No one wants to go to a casino where they feel like the games are rigged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's in everyone's best interest, players, the casino, everyone, to create a culture of transparency and accountability.
Couldn't agree more. So this Saliba case has been a valuable lesson in a lot of ways.
It has. It's really highlighted how crucial vigilance reporting and a safe and fair gaming environment are.
Totally agree. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Those 6 former casino employees on the involuntary exclusion list,
Right.
what's the deal with them?
Ah, yes, the rogue employees.
Yeah.
It's a super intriguing aspect of this whole story. It makes you wonder what would drive people to risk their jobs and reputations to steal from a casino.
Right. Like, what's the motivation?
Well, it's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but there are a few possibilities.
Like what?
Some might just be driven by pure greed. They see a chance to make some easy money and they jump on it.
I can see that, especially if they're handling tons of cash every day.
Exactly. Others might be struggling with gambling addiction themselves and are trying to win back what they've lost.
That's a sad story, but I bet it's more common than we think.
It is. And then there are those who might be unhappy employees who feel like they're being treated unfairly by the casino.
So they resort to stealing as a way to get back at their employer.
It's definitely a possibility. Of course, these are just theories. We can't really know for sure what motivates each person.
True. But it's interesting to think about all the factors that might be at play. It definitely emphasizes the importance of casinos having strong systems in place to spot and prevent employee theft.
Couldn't agree more, because like we've seen, even one bad apple can ruin the whole bunch. And the ripple effects can be huge.
So what can casinos do to reduce these risks?
Well, they could start by really stepping up their background checks on potential employees. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer.
It does. You'd think everyone would be doing that already.
You would, but it's surprising how many businesses don't do their due diligence. And it's not just about looking for a criminal record.
Right.
It's about looking for any red flags that might suggest a tendency towards dishonesty or risky behavior.
So they need to be thorough. Like really thorough.
Absolutely. And it's not a one-time thing either. They need to monitor employee behavior over time and watch for any changes that could be cause for concern.
Like sudden spending sprees or big lifestyle changes.
Exactly. Those could be signs that something shady is going on.
And like we talked about before, they need to create a culture where employees feel comfortable reporting suspicious activity without fear of repercussions.
That's crucial. It's all about building trust and accountability.
So we're talking about a multi-pronged approach here. Thorough screening, ongoing training, careful monitoring, and open communication.
Exactly. It's about creating a comprehensive system that minimizes the risk of employee theft.
Well said. Sounds like casinos have their work cut out for them.
They do, but it's an investment worth making. Their reputation and ultimately their bottom line depend on it.
So true. Now let's shift gears for a second and talk about the impact of this whole cheating scandal on the gambling industry as a whole.
Okay.
Do you think this Saliba case will have any lasting effects on how casinos operate or how people view gambling?
It's tough to say for sure.
Yeah.
But it definitely has the potential to raise awareness about cheating and encourage casinos to review their security measures.
What we were just talking about.
Exactly. It could also lead to more scrutiny from regulators and lawmakers who might push for stricter rules and oversight.
And that wouldn't be a bad thing, would it?
Not necessarily. It could help make sure that casinos are operating fairly and transparently and that players are protected.
So this could actually be a good thing in the long run.
It's possible. As the saying goes, sometimes you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
I've never heard that one before, but I like it.
It's a bit of a cliche, but it fits here.
So this Saliba case could be the thing that pushes the gambling industry to make some much-needed changes.
It's definitely possible. Only time will tell.
Well, I, for one, am hoping for the best. I enjoy a good casino trip every now and then.
As do I. But it's crucial to remember that gambling should always be done responsibly.
Absolutely. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose and be aware of the risks involved.
Wise words. And if you see something, say something.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to say about this casino cheating scandal.
I think we've explored it pretty thoroughly.
From Saliba's alleged crimes, to the role of the OCCC, to the implications for the entire gambling industry.
It's been a deep dive for sure.
And hopefully our listener has gotten some valuable insights along the way.
I'm sure they have.
But before we sign off, I have one last question for you. Given everything we've discussed, what do you think is the biggest takeaway from this whole Saliba case?
That's a fantastic question. I think the biggest takeaway is that the integrity of the gambling industry is absolutely paramount. Meaning that both casinos and regulators have to take proactive steps to prevent cheating and ensure that the games are fair for everyone.
Because if people lose faith in the system, the whole industry could collapse.
Exactly. It's all about maintaining public trust and making sure that gambling stays a fun form of entertainment and doesn't turn into some kind of rigged game.
Couldn't agree more.
And it reminds us that we all have a part to play in protecting the integrity of the games.
How so?
By being vigilant, reporting any suspicious activity, and demanding transparency and accountability from both casinos and regulators.
So it's a team effort.
Absolutely. We're all in this together.
Love that. Well, folks, I think that's all the time we have for today.
It's been a pleasure as always.
But before we go, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
I'm all ears.
This Saliba case might have shown a light on casino cheating.
It certainly has. It's definitely got people talking.
But it makes you wonder how many other cases of cheating fly under the radar every day.
That's a chilling thought.
It is. And it begs the question.
What's that?
How can we as players protect ourselves from becoming victims of these scams?
Ooh, that's a question for another deep dive.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis.
Until then, stay informed, stay vigilant, and as always, gamble responsibly.
And remember, the house always wins in the end. So play smart and don't bet more than you can afford to lose.
Couldn't agree more. It's a sobering reminder that even in a place like a casino where everything seems so controlled, there are always people looking for ways to break the rules.
And we as players need to be aware of those risks and take steps to protect ourselves. Knowledge is power, right? The more we understand the tricks cheaters use, the better we'll be at spotting them and avoiding those traps.
Exactly. Think of it as learning the art of self-defense, but for gambling.
I like that. So what can we do as players to stay safe?
First and foremost, be observant.
Okay.
Pay attention to the game, the dealer, and the other players at the table.
Right.
Don't get so caught up in the excitement that you let your guard down.
Got it. Eyes open, stay alert.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If something seems off or you're not sure about the rules, just ask.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Right, absolutely. And if you suspect something fishy is going on, report it to casino security right away.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. It's always better to err on the side of caution.
And remember, folks, you're not alone in this. The casino has a big interest in keeping things fair and secure, too.
They do. Cheaters hurt their business just like they can hurt individual players.
So it's a team effort.
Yeah.
We all need to work together, stay vigilant, and keep the games honest.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of casino shenanigans.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. Hopefully our listener has a better understanding of the risks and how to stay safe while enjoying the thrill of the game.
Maybe we've even inspired a future casino security expert or two.
One can only hope.
So until next time, folks, remember to gamble responsibly and keep your wits about you.
And as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.
Cheers to that.